Never been sailing before, not even once? Let's give it a try. Our boat will be an international laser, 14 feet long, and unsinkable fiberglass dinghy. Simplicity is what it's all about with a laser. A mast which bends and doesn't even require any wires to hold it up, the way most sailboats do. We'll need a bow line so that when we put the boat in the water, it doesn't just sail off over the horizon without us. And to keep us going in a straight line, most boats have a centerboard, in this case, a dagger board, which just sticks down through the middle of the boat and comes out under the water like the fin of a fish. To control the sail, we only need one line. It's called a main sheet. We use it to pull the sail in or let the sail out as required. A rudder steers the boat, and we steer the rudder with a tiller, to which is attached on the laser a handy hiking stick to extend our reach. The one thing a sailor needs to know all the time is where the wind is coming from. And a laser makes a pretty good weather vane itself. When the sail is amidships, that's where the wind's coming from. And that's where we're going, and since sailboats can't sail directly into the wind, the sail just luffs, we'll zigzag our way through that upwind corridor. That little red weather vane, called a Windex, shows us the angle of the boat to the wind. Very good information to know. Here's our first tack. We just put the tiller hard over. The boat's momentum carries it through the eye of the wind, and off we go in the other direction. The Windex shows the angle on the new side of the boat. Ready about? Hard a lee as we tack again, zigzagging our way. If we tried to sail directly into the wind, we would just stop. We sail as close to the wind as we can. That feels good, doesn't it? Ready about? That's the command of preparation. Hard a lee. The command of execution of attack. Pretty silly to say it out loud when we're the only crew on board, but good to get in the habit. To windward, we keep the main sheet tight, the sail pulled all the way in, because that helps us go to windward. If it seems like there's a lot going on, I know what you mean. But it's nothing that 9-year-olds in sailing school can't teach us.
Harper, tiller in the middle. And now attack. There we go. Nice.
So, where is the wind coming from? It's coming from there. We can tell because of the horizontal, because of the lines of the ripples on the water, which are perpendicular to the wind direction. So when the wind is variable like this, we keep probing up into it to see how high into the wind that we can sail. And it starts to luff, so we bear off a little bit. And since the wind under these conditions is not very steady, we have to keep probing, because this is how we get upwind. And when we do get a puff and the boat heels over a little bit, I shift my weight out just enough to level the boat, and you can feel us accelerate. Briefly. So I have not had this much fun since last Tuesday, or maybe 10 Tuesdays before that. What a beautiful day. So far, we've been going upwind, to windward as it's called, with our sails pulled in. Now we're going across the wind. So we just let the sail out to catch it. And if we want to turn that way, we won't be tacking. We'll be performing what's called a jibe. In a jibe, the wind is behind us when we make our turn, and the boom comes over suddenly. You can watch the Windex shift just before the boom begins its turn. Prepare to jibe. Coming over. Should we all start with sailing school? Sure, why not? But just shoving off is okay too. A light dinghy won't hurt us, and mistakes teach fast. Sailing is actually easier to learn now than ever before, with YouTube videos on almost every aspect. And may I recommend my own new book, Introduction to Sailing, which evokes what it's all about, how to get started, and what boat to buy. #1 sailing audiobook on Audible. Thanks for that.
If we get to lunch by 2, I'm good.
Am I invited to lunch?
Yes, sure.
Well, thank
You
you.
like sushi?
I love sushi. But we should really catch it ourselves.
Yeah.
I have run into a hole in the wind.
There's no more?
It'll come back.
I'm open as long as we're to sushi by 2. I mean, I'm like, whatever.
Do we live in paradise or what?
Hey. So it's like perpetual vacation.
We can tell when we've headed up a little too much into the wind because the sail luffs. It sort of folds back like a pillow there along the mast. And all we do is pull in the main sheet a little, called trimming it. I like everything about dinghy sailing. I think it's the immediate responsiveness of the tiller in your hand, the sound of the waves lapping the bow, and the feeling of complete control with just the main sheet, a tiller, and a place to go. Reminds me of being a kid and makes being an adult worthwhile. Yeah, right, but ready about, hard to lee. Say, I think there's a puff in that fairway ahead. I can already feel it coming. Yes. So we'll hike out, as it's called, just a little bit. We want to keep the boat level, and we want to feel the acceleration. Ready about? hard a lee. The commands are to come about, and hard a lee is an ancient phrase because if you push the tiller on a sailboat to the lee side, to the leeward side, it turns the boat through the eye of the wind. Well, we're headed downwind now, not upwind, so we let the sail all the way out to catch the wind. At the moment, we're dead downwind. This is a reach, probably the fastest point of sail, halfway between upwind and dead downwind. Dinghies are fast and twitchy with instant control, and they'll do anything you ask them to without complaint. Which may be more than can be said of the mature dinghy sailor himself. Ah, yes. The beauties of youth, or extended youth, or lost youth, or no youth. One thing experience teaches, though, is never to set out from a dock on a sailboat without absolutely assuring yourself that the lines are not fouled, which is what our demonstrator is doing at the moment. How many years sailing has he got? About 70. He knows what he's doing. You can trust him. His lines have been carefully taken care of. Or perhaps not completely taken care of. Perhaps not every foul cleared. Perhaps not any of the fouls cleared. Every rope must have an end. He read that in some book. Sure of it. But which end? Why? This is absurd. This all should have been done before setting sail. Every 9-year-old knows that. It's here somewhere. You do get hungry on a sailboat, especially when working hard like this. And rope is the best thing to eat. You can have multiple portions of main sheet while you struggle through your failure to anticipate the obvious fouls of a long main sheet on a laser. Careful now. Are we finished yet with this demonstration of making a real meal of your own mistake?
Hi.
The Laser is my favorite sailing dinghy. It will do anything you ask it to do, and it can always do much more than you can ask. As skills and confidence improve, it's a license to dream.